What's up, people? Welcome back to another explanation video. This time, let's continue with the Ultimate Endgame series. So yeah, I want to talk about whip this time. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. A quick note as usual before I start the explanation. If you want to watch a specific build, like passes, buffs, like accessories, armors, whatever, feel free to check out the gameplay for different boss fights because everything will be different. So I will not include in this video. So this video sole purpose is to explain the setup and how to use it and etc. So if you want to look for a bit more specific one, I definitely recommend to do that. And as usual, I like to make these one general videos and then to explain how things work, and then you will be able to learn from watching the gameplay. And with that being said, let's go over the weapon itself. Now the whip you want to look for is the SP Coil Whip. This is a really good for the end game since we don't have many different whips in the game, nor no 5-star version, so it kind of sucks. And the ones you want to look for is definitely high attack, there's no doubt about it. You want to get all the stats as usual. If some weapons that don't matter with the stats, I will point out. Other than that, trying to get whatever you can, as much as you can. The passive is good to have, especially if you want to do the arena. You want the passive. You can also do with a Zen Fighter as well. So this whip actually includes the Zen Fighter as well, which is awesome. So you don't have to switch to an accessory. So yeah, you can use either way. You can do the one thing I want to mention is that you can also do this some of the weapons with Zen Fighter if you want to just put more accuracy on, like the Abyssal Rings or whatever. It works just fine. But in this case, I would just talk about Zen Fighter because why not use Zen Fighter? It is one of the best buff in the entire game, so it will save you, from you can hit a lot more DPS and you carry a lot less buffs and don't have to worry too much about like accuracy problems. Isn't that what people talk about all the time? The accuracy is a problem, so use a Zen Fighter. It won't be a problem. And yeah. Now, other than that, let's move on to the customizations. The customizations for the weapons and stuff for the soul skill. I recommend use the Dance of Madness for the final EX Connect, and then the Warring Beat for the damage, turnover for the damage as well. You can use Drop Crash if you want to, but I recommend using turnover and Warring Beat back, every other, and just do damage, Warring Beat, turnover, back and forth, back and forth. You can also use Dance of Madness as well, because the problem with Dance of Madness is like it takes too long to for the EX to connect, but I only need the EX to connect. But also the hidden part of this sword skill that people don't talk about is that you actually get the damage multiplier. Once you use this sword skill, your other sword skills actually hits a little bit harder for some reasons. That was interesting in the arena because without the Dance of Madness, some of the soul skill aren't hitting us hard for whatever reason, but it's like it feels like a buff or etc. It's kind of hard to tell. Other than that, the Dance of Madness definitely works with a Sky Dancer, so steel riding armors and whatever you can get for this Sky Dancer, put it on. And usually the fish, there's only like a few Sky Dancer like good accessories, so it's always gonna be the same one, like the SP. The fish belt and the cloak, and other than that there's just one more, the SP Aurora belt with a Dex version, the Sky Dancer. So mainly you're just gonna be look for anything with Sky Dancer. If you want to get picky, just the fish belt, the cloak, and then the Aurora belt. That's it. Other than that, Drop Crash, I use it for I don't use 4-4 for the whip now compared used to be. There's a different version to play this weapon with a 4-4, but 3-3 is enough to kill everything. So I'm gonna just put the speed on and leave a 3 level 3 skill connection. There's no need to get 4, like I say. Other than that, turnover is another DPS that I use. SP Steel Armor and the XT Slaughter Bell. This is from the Golem, the pink Golem in the East Supreme Ray. You want the Unrival, obviously. Other than that, put anything with Unrival on, it's fine. Since the turnover matches the it just matches this accessory, so it's perfect because of Vitality Dex. And the main, I just kept the Recollection Jewel. But if you want another accessory, you can double stack this, or put something else with the like high dex, like Abyssal Rings or whatever. Strength dex would work just fine. So, and then the Warring Beat. This is like the main DPS focus is for another Sky Dancer. So this will be the same setup for any Sky Dancer sword skills, and there's not going to be that much differences. You will be, you'll be just doing Warring Beats and turn over, and back and forth until you kill the boss, and that's pretty much it. That's why I say, some of the weapons have a little bit different setups, but overall they're all like similar. So it's not going to be a whole lot of difference. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the whip. It's quite straightforward. There's not like too complicated for something. There might be just a bit more accessories than the other weapons. And yeah, anything, like I say, anything with the end game is pretty straightforward, because you only narrow down like just a few good accessories, weapons that just passive buffs, depends on the situation. That's pretty much it. And item wise, strength food, like record wise, yeah, Prodigy and Uptie as usual. Feel free to use anything else if you want to, not a big deal. And that's pretty much it for the whip. Whip is really, really strong in this game, especially for the end game. It's kind of hard to set up in the early game, but once you get to the end game and stuff, you get a lot more choices that will help this weapon. But nonetheless, the weapon is OP. No matter what stage of the game you are in, this thing can destroy a lot of enemies as usual. Hopefully this weapon will be just as good in the next game, because it's really, really fun to use for sure. So anyway, that's pretty much it for the whip. Hope you guys enjoy it. Until next time.